topic: inflation in emerging markets. Consumer price index in February in China missed expectations and came in at a 13-month low. At the same time, producer price deflation persisted because of seasonal demand and household caution. The dynamic that links the bottoming out of the China consumer price index and producer price deflation is the weakening of demand due to cyclical reasons, and at the same time, consumers are cautious about spending amid job and income worries, both depressing factors in terms of consumption. The first dynamic we see in the subdued demand out of the consumer is affecting producers oriented towards domestic Chinese consumers. So you can consider that price deflation is readjusting to weak demand out of the domestic consumer. What is interesting to the prior fact is that the key pillar the Chinese government is looking to develop is actually the domestic consumer based economy. Bank of America indicates that economic and monetary policy has been mainly geared towards developing the domestic consumption economy. You can consider that policy efforts are falling short of their subsequent targets. The 13-month low has been defined by a trend that is considered um, to be secular. The 13-month low in um, the China Consumer Price Index. The interesting fact is this secular trend is a secular trend. It is not defined by volatility. It is defined by volatility, but the progress of the curve is not defined by a heavy onset and fluctuations. You need to appreciate the importance of what is being said. The domestic consumption pillar is a focal point of intense effort, namely to expand the domestic Chinese economy. But the trend has been over a period of 18 months. So, a larger trend, a secular trend towards shrinkage of the domestic consumption market. On the attractiveness, another topic, on the attractiveness and valuation of risky assets in terms of market risk premium. Risk premiums on the secondary market are making risk assets unattractive. So we believe that the rotation into risky assets is stemmed because of the risk premium being considered as inadequate. So we will look at specific sectors in asset classes that offer correlation to outflows in risky assets. Specifically, we find the S&P 500 dropping near 5% in 1 month. So we see direct correlation between dwindling valuation and esteemed inadequate risk premiums. Another topic on Basel Endgame, Basel III implementation. It is important to note what the costs are of Basel III implementation and Basel III Endgame. The implementation of Basel III became effective about 2 weeks ago. Systemic banks are looking to readjust to Basel III, especially in the US. CEOs of respective financial firms have indicated readjustment is a process that will take several months. In the case of Bank of America, full implementation is set to cause a shift in financial performance of the bank. The imperative is that in the case of Bank of America, it can affect revenue to drop over a 10-month trailing period in 2025 with almost 4.4%. The issue is that the pressure on revenue is guaranteed. It is basically guaranteed. Basel III implementation is basically guaranteed to lead to a 4.4% in revenue Specifically, Basel III implementation. The issue is the issue is the implementation of Basel III is proving to be highly costly. Then it's putting sizable pressure on valuations of systemic financial firms in the U.S., including Bank of America. Morgan Stanley indicates that the cost of implementation will be felt across the board with U.S. systemic banks and their subsequent valuations.